What's good, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. Nadeska, Wayno, and DJ Academics here. Or just Academics. Academics, right? You're done with the DJ?
DJ Academics, fuck y'all niggas who say take it out.
Not a
it's
DJ.
part of my branding. Fuck y'all. Y'all can't tell me
I don't even understand how it's part of your brand. You don't DJ.
He doesn't
anymore,
DJ.
Y'all wanna hear the real simple thing behind it? There's
Tell us.
another company that owns the trademark Just Academics. I don't know if y'all
Is it the
know.
clothing company?
clothing
Yeah,
line.
it has nothing to do with me.
Do people still
I
buy
go
that?
start like I might infringe on
Buy
this
them
shit.
out. Make that your official
Why don't
merch
you bring
line.
them back?
Come on,
Start
Ac.
rocking. I used to wear Academics. I ain't gonna lie.
Anyway, it's DJ Academics and anybody who has a problem. I wish I had a Tinashe button.
They fab,
Yo,
you said
we need
rock
some
that
sound
shit.
effects, man. Dre.
Yeah.
No, he promised me he'll have some for next week. Just wait on it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. 'Cause
No, trust me, the Academics have been really convenient. But the company blocked me on Twitter. Like they blocked. Like
what'd you do to them?
I don't know.
Do
I
they still
guess
sell clothes?
I don't know, and I don't want to talk about it too much because
All right, we ain't gonna get them.
I don't know nothing about
Yo,
them.
let's make them an
My brand is
offer.
completely different.
Okay. All right.
You ever think about if Gucci has ever sued Gucci Mane?
That'd be too much.
Well, Maybach
Because
Music
it's a
is
real fine line between like with like branding and stuff.
Yeah.
If you built your brand off of the other brand, you could be sued.
Yeah.
But you could be called almost the same thing if your brand is completely different.
if it's completely different, you can do that.
Who's gonna
So
be
that's
the
why you
first?
don't see Gucci rocking a whole bunch of Gucci.
That's why you don't see Ross running anything with Maybach Music, because Maybach is just like a design within the brand of Mercedes, but he can use it for music purposes. Mercedes isn't doing anything with music, so.
That's true. All right. This seems perfect for our first topic. So yesterday we talked about 2 Milli trying to trademark or copyright, I forgot the actual correct term, pardon me, the Milli Rock dance because Fortnite is using it and he's not getting paid. And here comes Boosie. So in an episode of BT's Rack Rants, he said that he's planning to trademark his signature fade. He says, quote, if you go to Hollywood, motherfuckers doing $60 million movies and the Boosie fade a big part of that project, I want me. He went as far as comparing this to using an artist's music without their permission. He said same thing if somebody take a Marvin Gaye song.
Can I say something? Okay, so look, I just want to keep it all the way 100, all the way real. I love Lil Boosie. I've loved Lil Boosie since I'm a
it's
dog.
Boosie now, just Boosie. Or
It's
Boosie badass song.
Boosie badass,
There you
what
go.
up? Listen, I've loved Boosie for a long time. I'm talking about like MySpace era, YouTube first starting, fucking with
All right,
Boosie.
this is quite the disclaimer, we know what's good.
He's out of his mind. You know, listen, he's out of his mind. And I see he said something distinctive about a movie. Okay, so he said $60,000.
60 million.
60 million
Yeah.
off of a movie. I don't know what movie he's referring to, but you cannot trademark a fade because you didn't invent the fade.
Didn't that nigga in the Dope movie have like a Boosie fade? Remember that Dope movie?
A lot of
Oh,
movies
yeah,
people
yeah.
have that fade. A lot of movies people have that fade. But you can't like, how do you, now we getting a little bit outrageous.
The Marvin Gaye comparison really tickled me though.
If I'm Boosie's barber, I sue Boosie for even saying that. Nigga, I gave you the fade, nigga.
Boosie
I
might
gave
be-
you the fade, nigga. You just made that shit your signature. I gave you the fade. If I'm his barber, I'm suing him.
Hey.
Yo, Boosie and Trick Daddy's kind of the same way. They remind me of old school hustlers. Them niggas, I think, you know, I don't discourage that thinking because there's a lot of money out here, and
Yeah.
if money is slipping by that you could take, by all means, do your thing. But Boosie strikes me as a nigga that will repackage tap water and sell it as bottled water in the hood. I'm telling you, man, like, this is ridiculous. You're not getting nothing.
Listen, I can't
I'm
knock
not gonna knock the effort, but you're probably gonna lose money with paying lawyers.
We're gonna have to make
I
a
don't
category
know.
rappers.
We gotta
trademarking
find out if
wild
he's really
shit.
serious or if he just said this shit one day like, man, you know, I need to trademark my fade. Like, too many motherfuckers running around with it. But, yeah, Boosie, yeah, this is wild. This is definitely wild.
All right, this is gonna be a big fan question episode because it's pretty slow news week, and then if we get to it, we got some over/under for you guys. So let's start with the first fan question. As always, keep sending these on Twitter at Everyday Struggle with 2Gs. We appreciate it.
Stop saying the same fucking questions in different words.
Right.
Like,
Well, they
make
don't-
up some new shit.
They don't also know what they're. Fair enough. All right. Let's see. What's the first one? A few episodes ago, Wayno mentioned Trinidad James as someone who was ahead of his time, being that he would have been great in the current era of music and a sort of a forefather of SoundCloud rap. My question is, why do you think people leave Lil B the bass god out of this conversation? He was relevant even before Trinidad and made it cool to be expressive without lyrics. What will it take for Lil B to be recognized as a great in the lane he created? I think we have recognized him on this show at least once or twice. But do you guys feel like a wider audience does not accept?
This nigga that asked that question is out of touch.
He's out of touch.
This nigga's some old school nigga, bro. Like, you know what everybody, like all the new rappers, when you ask them who are the guys who influence them? Like, you can start, let's say we're what we used to call, because I keep saying it's an antiquated term, mumble rap. 2015, XXL cover, we saw a very different face of what the new future of rap was. And all them niggas that we considered, like...
2016.
Whatever.
All right.
But all those people who we considered the mumble rappers, they all were saying, yo, the people who I looked up to, like Yachty was like, people I looked up to, Soulja Boy, Lil B.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
A lot of people, like, you heard Lil B's name be mentioned. So I do think he gets his proper credit. If anything, I just don't see how we talk about Trinidad James compared to not Boosie. I was about to say Boosie.
Well,
to Lil B. Lil B was ahead of his time, got clowned for certain gimmicks and certain things that now, to be honest, that's the way. Where I wouldn't put Trinidad James is that while Trinidad James look-wise, being, you know, it was kind of outlandish, kind of fits in with what we're seeing today. He was a caricature. You get me? And like, for these kids now, that's really them. And as soon as he broke that mold, I think people were like, oh shit, he's not like what's the guy's name from Martin?
Jerome.
He's not Jerome from Martin.
Well, I don't care if these.
And he did other music too.
Well, I give you that. I mean, the reason why I initially said that was because I don't care if these kids feel like that is them. They're all characters. They're definitely characters, because when you actually have a conversation with them, including somebody like a 6ix9ine, I know a bunch of people that have met 6ix9ine and they like, yo, he's really a good kid. Like, he's a good guy. Like, he don't drink, he don't smoke. He puts the hair and all of that, and when the camera comes on, he turns it on. When it turns off, he's like, yo, you know, I was just, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he's very respectful in that regard, but people don't see that side. Lil B, like you said, this dude is out of touch. I think, like, his flow is really relevant. When I hear Mo Bamba and I hear Sheck West say, I'm the best drug dealing nigga, come and cop it. Young Sheck West, I'm like the fucking Green Goblin. Like, that's the same flow Lil B was always using. Anytime somebody says 30 on my neck, 30 on my wrist, what's his name? Lil Pump says that shit, that's Lil B. So Lil B is very relevant. I don't think people care enough. That's just the thing. People don't care enough to mention him, because Lil B is not making a case out of it. Yeah. Like, he's never like, yo, I'm not getting my credit. He's just like, yo, you're all blessed. You can use whatever you want. And he's a very nice guy. Yeah. So, but with Trinidad, I think that he did spark something for all these kids to be able to dress crazy and outlandish, because when he did it, we looked at him as a character. And today, you can't, all of these kids, you telling me that they like that on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Like, they're like that on Christmas when they're with their families.
You can't get rid of them face tattoos.
You can't get rid of the face tattoo. I'm talking about as far as how you dress.
He's our coworker now, by the way,
absolutely.
right? And he actually dresses like that every day.
He dresses like that all the time. That's why I can't say, like, he's very heavy in the sneaker culture. Yeah. All of these kids, they just do this shit to be on camera, because rap is now a hustle. The bar is set very low for you to get in the game.
I think he fucked up when okay, I'll give you that point, but I'll say he broke character when the cameras was off. On, right? When he went up to an interview. I remember watching him in the Breakfast Club interview, and I never heard him speak before, but I'm hearing the record. Like, you want to hear that. Like, it's kind of sad though, but we want to hear what we perceive you to be.
So it's like
music.
when we found out on like The Apprentice.
It's like when we found out this motherfucker Plies was like a Harvard graduate. Yeah. The fuck, yo, you supposed to be like the biggest goon.
So
like unfortunately, hip hop, we look at people different if it's very clear that they're playing a role, right? And when I mean, and sometimes it's not even a role. Maybe it's just two sides. Hey, when we're having a very intellectual conversation, a dialogue, a interview, I'm not gonna sound all ignorant like I sound on a record. I'm on a record sounding ignorant. I'm fucking saying some shit, and I look certain ways because of what it is. But you can't expect me to do that all around.
Well, I don't think that's
I think hip hop fans want you to do it.
I don't think that's where Trinidad went wrong. I feel like when Trinidad, the initial point where he went wrong is when he started giving his opinion, right? When he started giving his opinion and people started challenging it, they didn't see how music was changing. Because he could have gave a lot of the same opinions today and it wouldn't be received the same way. But when music was changing and he started giving his opinion, and people was like, what gives you the right? And everybody was challenging him, like, what gives you the right? Because you're some nigga from Atlanta. And I mean, Atlanta was having a reign, but an artist like him wasn't having his reign. And that's why I say he was before his time.
Yeah, no, like Yachty gave his opinion. Shit, Yachty kind of was speaking out amongst some legends, but he persevered through all that.
But the thing was, and I think that what Trinidad got caught up with was how they dissected his words, because he says something that he was very, very right in, but they only took a certain part. They took the part where he was criticizing why New York artists weren't getting played, and left away the part where he was saying, I like all of these guys, so why aren't they getting played? And it was just taken as, who is this nigga wearing all this gold hating on New York? And it was bad for him at the time, but it's good to see that he's a person that's transitioned from not only making music but getting into other things.
Sneaker commentator, etc.
Rap is like WWE. Let me tell you this. And if you ever watch a Prestige, very important theme.
Wow, I just actually watched that the other day.
That shit was on last night. No bullshit. That shit was on last night. Came on last night.
Listen, you got to play the fucking role. And whether that is completely fake or just something that people are buying into, I've always said a nigga like Khaled and a nigga like Ross, they never break character.
Right.
For cameras, like I can't imagine Khaled.
You think Ross is in character?
No. I'm gonna explain. Like that. Let's start with Khaled first. Khaled's very like energetic. He's always bouncing off the walls. I can't imagine that's Khaled all the time. I can't. But you've never seen, just like Designer first, it felt like that's how he was all the time. And honestly, as fans, that's what you wanted to see.
But a lot of people said that he was like that all the time too. Like people were saying that. Like
I ain't gonna lie. I see some new videos of him.
I mean, now he's
relaxed.
no. I ain't gonna front. Yo, now
I don't know.
I can actually hear what he says when he's speaking now, and I think that was a thing for him to work on. But I remember like Tiana doing an interview, and they was asking about him, and she was like, "Yo, he's acts like that all the time."
Yeah,
like,
Iman Shumpert, I think, said the same.
Iman Shumpert said the same thing, but I mean, he's very
All right, so
young.
let's not use Designer as the example, but as you were saying with Ross and Khaled, stick with those.
Yeah, because I'm curious about the Ross.
Now with Ross,
maybe persona is the word, so character doesn't sound so.
Ross kind of like, he always came across to me like this mafia boss. Right? And honestly, like the way he talks, everything about him is just like that boss-like shit. Like we've never seen like some shit that'd be like, oh, wait, that's like too much of a different side of your personality that we might question when we see this. That was always him. And to be honest, maybe that's always him. Who knows? Maybe that's always him. I'm just saying, shit, it's just hard to be that person all the time, even if it is you. You get me? I always looked at, again, we're bringing up Designer, but we're like, Designer, are you seriously fucking like the whole fucking day, bro? You have to chill. Like you get tired.
But you also got to look at Designer 2 years ago being an 18-year-old kid, and now he's 20 years old. And I mean, that's not that much of a difference. But if you want people to take you serious, I mean, being 18 and then turning 20, you feel like you've mastered the fucking universe.
Especially being 18 and jumping out the gate with a mega hit
with a
like
fucking
he did.
diamond racket.
I'll be bouncing off the walls too.
I'll be wilding the fuck out.
And even with Ross as well, right? I remember when he was coming up and doing interviews, and you know, people were trying to like get, I don't know, like I don't want to say necessarily break him, but like get to understand certain things that were either rumors or whatever. Ross was always Ross. Like I watched. There's some legendary interviews where he's talking to like these people that are interviewing him, and they want to ask about, it could be whatever. Like they want to ask about some CO stuff, or they want to ask about some other stuff. And Ross was just always that. He just came across like even in those interactions, like he's just a boss.
I mean, I think the biggest.
You get me? And I always looked at that to say, yo, this guy is. And you know, I hate calling it like you're just playing a role, like you're a fucking actor. But like this side of your personality, that is either so much you or you're so good at it. Like that's only what people see. And to be honest, that is what's the marketable part of it. That's the marketable part of why is Khaled popping on Snapchat? Because of that part of his personality.
I mean, everybody has their thing. Like you know, like. For Jay's the hustle, it's like for Ross is the boss persona, for Meek it's the underdog inspiration, for Nas it was intellect. So everybody has their thing that makes them who they are. I think with Ross, what it really seems like
even that
when
voice.
I think
like I always be like, yo, Ross, you can't talk like that.
Nah, he talks like that. He talks like that. I think that when he comes into a room, he just kind of you get the respect you warrant, and I think like the way he talks is. He talks to you in a way where it's like you can only talk to him a certain way. Like now you can joke with him too. I've seen him joke before, but he jokes on some braggadocious shit. You know what I mean? So that's just who he is, you know? But
There's definitely a persona there. I forgot what
Yeah.
the question was that we started with. But
Oh, no, I think it was about Trinidad James.
Oh, yeah.
No, well, I guess my point was just saying that
When he broke character.
Yeah,
Right.
I felt like that breaking of character really had people saying, wait, maybe this ain't authentic. Maybe like this is a smart guy just trying to put forth a dumb looking image or type of, again, they didn't understand what that type of music was at that point.
Right.
And why should we buy into this? You get me? And actually, if you're that smart, why don't you just make some better shit?
I think it's a catch-22 as well, because it's like when you want to see, when you see an artist like that, you like, I want to know about them. But when they can't, we always are critical of artists who have a certain image or a certain palette of how they present themselves and they can't speak.
Right.
So it's like when you do get somebody who speaks, it's like, oh man, I want this nigga to be ignorant. Like, you know, so it's like you got to pick yours. It depends on the platform, but you got to pick yours.
you can just do like Lil Jon, have all the ratchet hits, and then later everyone figures out you're a goddamn genius.
Tonight on Evening at 12 with Lil Jon. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, people were really surprised when they thought. Remember, Plies was rapping about being the biggest goon and all that, and he came on the Breakfast Club. I think it was the Breakfast Club, and the motherfucker was speaking perfect English. And it is bad as a culture that we're like the
Championing
biggest
ignorance.
goon can't have a good command of English language. But when we saw this shit, we were like, wait, this motherfucker's educated. He sounds illiterate on the fucking record. He's drawing every word.
There's tons of educated goons. But what I would say about Plies, if you really listen to his music, you can hear that in there. Like, you could really hear that in there. What really made me like Plies was his interviews. Him saying shit 10 years ago about how, listen, if you're a young man and you in the streets, stop getting your face tattooed, because when you do run into a situation, when you walk into that courtroom, they're gonna judge you based upon that. So, and that was a narrative he had in his music. So I kind of expected some shit from Plies. Because if you really listen to it, it's like street education, how we say introspective hood music.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, but play this. Even last example. Even Kanye, who's not even like that, right?
Right.
But like when Kanye went on motherfucking Kris Jenner show and he was speaking.
Oh, now that was wild. Listen.
That was different.
That was crazy.
He was speaking.
He started to sound like
proper
Michael
English.
Jackson.
Everybody was like, "What the fuck?" like we're shocked when people don't sound
tone.
like
That
how
was different.
they sound on a
was like-
record.
he was
Like,
like,
not saying people are uneducated, but like if Chief Keef came from Love Sosa and Don't Like and came to the Breakfast Club and be like, okay, let's actually talk about the particulars of my situation.
And like I said,
we'd be like, what the fuck is going on here?
That's why it's such a funny space, because it's like, I never want YG to not talk like YG.
Okay.
Like, I love the fact that YG, as much as success as he's had, and like, you know, he didn't start out like with a big run. He really grinded, and now he's like, I like to say he's a sustainable artist that's in some of the top fields, depending on what type of part of music we're talking about. And for him to always be himself, but be able to transition and do all this crazy business, but he's still that gutter ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? I love that about him. Because it shows a lot of kids. It shows a lot of kids that, don't get me wrong, I feel like everybody, we all speak in certain ways depending upon the situation. And I feel like you have to choose your words wisely, but when you can continuously be yourself, that's what counts the most.
And I will say, I know rappers now, especially after they've been in the game for 5+ years, they're putting on the image like they're dumb and ignorant. Like, they're smart as fuck. That's how you keep yourself in this type of business for that long.
Right.
But they know what's marketable is that people think you're just some hot-headed, ignorant person that is either street or whatever. And that is the image that they'll put out there. But, you know, like, of course, and clearly you're not going to be talking to the business meeting the same way you're on a record. But still, like, you could tell mentally they're way past where they are at on a record. They just know that what the fans want to hear is that content, and they want to perceive him like that.
Right.
Right.
I feel you.
Got to be a good showman. It's okay to have a character. All right, so this next question, right? We've gotten this asked in multiple ways, so I'm going to read the two versions we got and have a feeling we might not even get to over-under, which is cool. So here we go. In the past few years, I've noticed the top guys in the game, Drake, Cole, Kendrick, Sean, Meek, have stopped collabing with each other, but why? Is it ego? Clearing? It sucks because we need them. And the next way they phrase it is, again, why won't the top 3 rappers at any one time, why are they not willing to work together, especially when during their come-up, the collabs came easier? Is it short-sighted for Drake, Cole, or K-Dot, for example, to not put ego, time, or whatever issues aside to make these records happen?
So there's 2 parts that I think is that create these questions. One of them when these guys were doing shit together, they had more time, right? They had more time on their hands. Now, technology is kind of ripped that apart. You know what I mean? Technology is kind of ripped that apart. We talked about when Travis did Sicko Mode with Drake, how that record came in like last minute.
Right.
With Meek, his record came in last minute.
True.
So I think that a lot of people, it's a bit of ego there. Like, it's definitely a bit of ego there.
And also people, the time is one.
Timing.
And shit happens when you're in the industry for a long time. Of course, Drake and Kendrick were on good terms years ago when they're collabing, but it doesn't seem like
and
it's the same.
I feel like Drake felt the way after
Control.
After Control.
Yep.
I feel like and they never had a chance to really like. I don't think that it's a big problem. I just think that like Kendrick became this massive like star. Like he became this massive star, and Drake is a massive star as well. And they're both doing their own shit. Like we'll probably never get this Cole and Kendrick album that everybody wants due to timing, due to them touring and rollouts. Like people plan their shit a whole year ahead. I'm pretty sure TDE is planned out a year ahead. I'm pretty sure that all the shit we see from QC, even though it's happening so rapid, they had a plan for it last year. So I think there's a lot of different reasons as to why they're not working together as much as possible.
I'm gonna give Drake the blame, and I'm also giving some props.
Okay.
You know, when there were those records that could have existed a bit more, Drake caught feelings, and when niggas catch feelings, and you take your ball and go home. Now everyone's a little bit like, you know, maybe we shouldn't have those type of records, or even like all hop on a record where we're talking a little bit of shit. So I do give him a little knock for that, and of course I'm referring to Control, the infamous moment, right? But I also give him a lot of credit because one thing he has showed, he's shown that, yo, I could be at the top of my craft and I like to compete. He does like to compete.
Absolutely.
You get me? And you know, of course, I'm not gonna say like, say a Kendrick or a Cole should just make up a fictional beef or whatever it is, but like, it would be dope to see like, remove Drake from the equation, because shit, Drake is freestyle battling niggas, quote unquote freestyle, right? Battling niggas, or at least making diss songs going at people, and that's as much as part of the backbone of the culture as is like posse cuts or whatever. It would be dope to see more Cole and Kendrick and even other people that are kind of on the same tier, Meeks. I mean, all of them hopping on some shit. So I can't all blame it on Drake. You get me? Like we just seen Tory and Joyner go back and forth, and they're cool. And that competition is definitely needed. I think it also goes to personality. J. Cole came out and said, you don't really care for certain shit. Like Kendrick clearly does, and I'm not saying that J. Cole just doesn't give a fuck about nothing. But he, in terms of competition, at least how he framed it, and I understood it, he's not really looking at what the next man is doing in terms of like who's the best, who's number 2, who's number 3. And that is kind of needed for the debates like that we have all the time, for the fans, and to encourage moments where, okay, we do want to see all y'all get on the track. I think now everybody's just in their own pocket. If it's convenient, which a lot of times you just mentioned, time is a factor. It's not going to be convenient much often. So we get these moments where we rarely see this shit happening, and it's very sad because this is an era where this is I can't even see the next era of dudes that's going to be the Kendrick, Cole, and Drake.
Well, I think it is,
and we don't see much of collaboration.
I think it is, and it isn't only because it's like when I think back before to, you know how. Like with Jay, when you got Jay, DMX, and I mean DMX and Jay is like almost at the same level, and then you got the Locks, and they're all doing songs together and all that, and then Jay shoots off, DMX shoots off, but they stopped lending their presence to like a lot of their peers. Like, you know, they stopped lending their presence to a lot of their peers because we'd be foolish to act like it was one point in time where like it was Kendrick, well not, let me not use Kendrick, I say Cole, Cudi, Wale, and to say that all of them is on the same level now. Now, skill-wise, I feel like Wale can keep up with anybody if you put him on the track and he has to rap. Now, is a Drake willing to say, all right, I'm a go get a posse cut with Wale? He kind of changed his trajectory to help younger artists come up. So that's been dope, but I don't think that, I think in order for it to happen, it has to be like a special moment. And you can't recreate those special times and special moments. So if it's not that, then it's not gonna happen.
And perhaps like if we didn't already get it, or if we're unsatisfied with it not happening, then we can't look towards, again, I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little weird if I see Wale and Drake on the track going back and forth. You know what I mean? Because these days, Drake he's doing more for the charts, more than just like exhibitions of talent.
Yeah.
You get me? So he's gonna work with a Blueface, he's gonna work with a Lil Baby.
And that's cool.
And nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I think what you mentioned is kind of when we should see it, or when we probably will see it the most.
I would
like on the come up.
Okay.
On the come up where like you don't have one guy
But even on
who's
the
such
come up, things got a little sour. Remember, We Don't Fuck With You musically? That whole
that whole
Lil Cudi Wale shit.
Yeah,
I feel like
But
when Cole was featured, what was it, around the Blueprint time? I just feel like there are a lot of
it's a lot
of things went sour behind the scenes that I think
that's gonna
contributed
happen.
to all
Little
of this.
shit.
Yeah, and
That's
I think
gonna
all
happen.
of that is simmered.
And it's like, all right, Drake worked with Nipsey on Killers, like Drake's first year. They've never done nothing again, like since that. I would love to hear Nipsey and Drake again, but if it's not that moment and everybody's doing their thing, we're not rushing for that. Like Drake don't need Nipsey and Nipsey don't need Drake. But if it would be something for the fans, but then Drake might look at it, they might look at it like, yo, just appreciate that moment that we gave you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of different factors as to why they don't. It's good to see Meek, and a lot of people critical of that record. Like I'm getting the reviews back, and
The
people
song
like,
is just alright.
It's cool.
But
you
we're
know,
just happy for the moment.
we're happy for the moment. We're happy for the moment, and I think that it was a special moment as well. And we're gonna get more of those depending upon what's going on. But you got to factor in technology, because technology rips the fabric of communication. Motherfuckers don't even like to look in each other's eyes and talk to each other anymore. You could be in the next room and they'd rather text you than tell you, yo, come in here, let me holler at you.
And you also got to think too, like you see now, it's like also energy. Like I think people are really careful with their energy.
Yeah.
Like shit.
I love the fact that Ak is using energy, and earlier when I was using it, he's like, you can't just, energy's such a,
All right, I'm talking about
Nah, I'm
buzz.
just fucking with you,
I'm talking
dog.
about
Fucking with
but
you.
like, think about it. When Drake got called out by Meek, and I think, I think he got a little paranoid just in the musical space. I think, and you heard it through his raps, he said, why am I even doing these features? Like the money is not worth it.
Right.
Stop doing features really for almost like a year.
Yeah.
So he wasn't trying to fuck with anyone. So even though he's now working with Meek again, I do think there's that politics that get played to be like, well, I'm this hot. Yeah, like our skill level might be close, like, right? So if we're thinking about a Drake and a Wale, like, yeah, skill-wise we might be on the same, like, a level playing field, but why the fuck I'm like you cold? I'm not working with you.
Nah,
that is how
yo.
people look at it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I wanna.
And you
if
have
I'm
to be
Drake,
strategic.
yo, I'm in this shit for 10. I want another 10. I want to be more with the guy who's gonna run it for the next 2, whether it's a Baby or whoever. Let me attach my ship to that rather than maybe I put out a record with Wale, which the purists love, right? Purists love, but may not be the best performing record. You get me?
Well,
and also it's doing more for him than it's doing for me.
Yeah, I mean, that you also got to be very strategic. I mean, certain artists, I don't know if Drake might have these clauses, but I remember one point in time, like Pharrell could only give out like 3 hooks a year or something like that. Even Rihanna, like, there's a reason why Rihanna, you only get a Rihanna feature from a Khaled and from a Kendrick in the same year. That's because they can only do but so many, because they're such massive stars.
Right.
They can't just be throwing their shit out there to everybody just because they feel like it. Because we talked about clearances. An artist could sit in a studio with you and be like, yo, I fuck with you, I like you, give you 1,000 bars of death, and then when you go, your peoples hit their label up on Monday, they be like, I know he did that for you, but we didn't say we was okay in that shit. So it's a lot of red tape to cut. I feel like with the top guys, it can always happen, but everybody's just stuck on doing their thing.
It's true. Well, I hope Big Sean drops an album next year, and I'm curious to see who he works with, if anyone.
Oh, salute to Sean. Sean be mixing it up. I could tell Sean still got his boxing gloves on, even though, like we critiqued his
But
last
we never
like
count
offering.
him out. We're just waiting for the project.
Yeah, but what I mean, like, he always got his boxing gloves on in terms of those type of records. I know a lot of people just love to act like he just got completely washed on Control, which he didn't. But you see, he also he came back on the same type of joint with Khaled and Kendrick on Holy Key, and he's getting back at it. Those what we want to see. We want to see the Kendrick and Sean. We want to see the Kendrick and whoever is like of that tier, and just hopefully we see more of it.
I know. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do one more question or over under? You guys choose.
Let's do it, Wanda.
Over under time. All right, let's do this. What do we got for you guys today? Oh, the first one is a collab question, of course.
Right.
All right, so over under. The number of collab songs we'll get from Drake and Meek in 2019 over under 3. What's that say?
That's an under, man.
Under.
That's an under.
Was
I
it
was
one and
surprised
only?
this came.
One and done?
I think this is gonna rock out for Meek for a while. I don't think Drake is one of them niggas. He'll give you the feature. You ain't featured on his shit. I know that nigga Drake.
Strategy.
I'll say under as well, but I do
Three's
think.
a lot.
Yeah, I do think that we'll get another one next year. I don't know whose is gonna be for, but I think that they'll find a way to do one more.
I think that one more will not be Drake or Meek. I think it will be like a Khaled that gets them on the same record.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This
You know
makes sense.
Khaled. Khaled come in there with some Bible and holy water and be like,
He
"Listen,
probably
know how
wanted
he
the first
does
glad
collab
y'all
matters
squashed
on
the
Meek's
beef."
album.
I remember, didn't he did like a remix for some record, and then he got two niggas that was beefing on the same record. Khaled's good, man.
Yeah,
Khaled's really good.
Yeah.
All right, so Jay had an incredible verse on What's Free from Meek's album. So now, number of Jay-Z guest verses we'll get in 2019. Over, under? Already
5.
under?
Yeah, under. You're not a Jay-Z, and this kind of goes back to the conversation we were just
This
having.
number might be too big. 5 is also a big
5
number.
is a big number. 5 is a big number. I say even under 3. I say even under 3. Unless Beyonce plans on dropping. You know what I mean? You know Jay is always going to be on something like that. But I say under 3 only because going back to the last conversation that we were having, Jay's not a person that's just going, he's not doing that.
Yeah.
For Meek, it was a special moment. How Meek said, like Meek has been on Roc Nation management for a few years now. You know, it had to take.
Who changed the number to 3? Because I'm over 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you over?
You think
I'm
over
over
3?
3.
You over 3? I think under 3. I say maybe 2. I feel like he'll be on Kendrick's album. I don't think he'll be on Drake's. I think he'll be on Kendrick's album and maybe somebody else, maybe another Khaled joint. But other than that,
Yeah, so, and I think that's how you have to gauge it, right? So if I'm thinking he's not putting out a project, right? And I think he's gonna be on Kendrick. I think his wife might put out something that he'll be featured on as well. I'm already at 2.
Okay.
I think Khaled's gonna.
So you think 3 is the magic number?
Yo, Khaled. Remember, Khaled signed to Roc Nation.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a reason.
What about Dreamville?
I'm getting.
If we think Cole's
Cole-
dropping next year, do we think there could be a Cole?
a-
I feel like he owes Cole a better feature.
Yeah, but I don't know if you think Cole will drop next year. Like
Probably.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know
I feel like if Cole drops, it's the end of the year. But let's say he drops. I think he's getting 1 too. So I'll go over.
So now we're over 3.
Yeah, I'm over 3.
I'm
over
under 3.
Under 3?
I'm under 3. I'm under.
Thanks.
I'm under, y'all.
So official.
I'm under. I'm under.
All right, let's keep it moving. So, oh yeah, my guy Big Sean. Number of months we'll have to wait to get a new Big Sean project. Over under 6 months.
Under 6 months. Under 6 months. We're in December.
Yeah.
We're in December. I think Sean is gonna come first quarter. I believe he's gonna come first quarter.
Does.
Under. I need to find out what happened with him and Jhené Aiko. I can't wait. I need to hear the end of that story. I heard they broke up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I heard they broke up. It's covering tattoos, all that. And I think Sean's on his back on his grizzly. I don't know, for some reason, sometimes I think being in a relationship might slow you down, especially for Sean. Every time he gets the best record when he just broke up, so I can't wait. So I'm saying under, and I think it's gonna be fire.
Or let's get another Dark Sky Paradise type album. That shit was amazing.
Is that the one he had I Don't Fuck With You on?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that was, he has a couple
Don't do
hits
that
on
type
it
of
and,
record,
like,
though. She cool. She
No,
cool,
no, but all the other non-singles on that album were also really dope. All right, so let's see. Over under the number of Lil rappers that will have #1 songs in 2019. Over under 4. They kill it in streaming, but #1 song. Under 4 of them.
Yeah.
So the Lil's being Lil Pump, Lil Uzi,
#1 songs?
#1
Oh,
songs.
Uzi get one. I gotta imagine Uzi get one.
Yeah, Uzi. I feel like Uzi would get one. I don't know whichever Lils would get a #1.
Yeah, well, it's so if we're not considering like people like
Because there's a lot of charts that you
if
get a
we're not
#1 for,
considering like
right?
say I think a Juice WRLD would get, but we're not considering Juice WRLD.
He's
like
not
one of
little.
them.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think this is a year we're gonna see a lot of new rappers rise up. You know, like the top rappers, of course, Uzi and Yachty, they're still around. We're gonna see what Lil Skies does, but like 6ix9ine might be out for the count for 2019. X passed away. I think it takes some time for an artist to kind of get that momentum when we're talking about a #1 record.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say under.
Under. All right.
Okay, damn.
How about, so XXXTentacion, new album coming this Friday, right? So number of units Skins will sell first week, over under 90. Numbers man, you can go first.
If he does under 200, I'd be surprised.
Oh yeah, that high? Okay.
X is one of the biggest artists, period.
Yeah.
X is running. He's running this number. Listen, I know artists who have moved their date off X's. You don't want to fuck with that. It's a posthumous album, maybe one of the only ones he'll ever drop. The numbers on this is gonna make. And by the way, keep in mind, well, I guess he died, so I guess that is promo.
Yeah.
In a very sadistic way, but
So you're thinking around 200K first week. Okay.
I say over as well. I say way over 90. It's so many artists. I think that there's a lot of artists who aren't even at the forefront that can do 90. And taking the Jadakiss line, that rappers get better promotion. People are gonna want to hear, people are gonna want to hear what he was thinking or what he was doing prior to his untimely death. So definitely over 90. Definitely over 90.
yeah, his last album did 120. So
Yeah, he's
he's gonna be way
gonna
up.
do some big numbers.
All right, it's gonna be a big release. We also spoke about Chance the Rapper this week. He gave us 2 new singles and he dropped 4 back in July. He's working on the project with Kanye. We haven't really gotten an update. It's been 2 years since Coloring Book. Number of months till we get a Chance the Rapper album, over under 6 months.
I'm curious to see what Act thinks, because I know what I'm thinking.
I'm saying over. I think he's gonna come summertime. May is the 5th. So the 6th month is June. I think he's July, August, actually. I think that's when he'll drop. And
Why do you think so late in the year? Since he's saying he's been working on this project for a minute now.
I don't know. I feel like he's just not gonna just drop an album. Like, I feel like he's been giving us some music to hold us over, and then it's gonna be a very long, extensive rollout. That's what I think. Now, he could just shock us and be like, oh, album here. But because he's independent, and I really want to believe that he's independent, which means it takes a little bit more to get all the wheels churning and turning. And again, because
He's a major artist, though. He might be independent, but he's a major artist.
Yeah, but still, like, it's working a record. If we're still saying you and your team is doing it rather than a whole label, I would imagine you want to put out a single, work that, and you want maybe even 2, right? Rather than, like, for example, some people put out just whole albums and you figure out the single when you hear the album. But that's because they already have a whole situation behind them, kind of already pushing it.
So I would say under. I think it's gonna be under. And one thing I can agree with Ack on is the summertime thing. I would think that he's making music for that time, because his music always has like some really good feel for when the weather breaks. But I think it's gonna be under. I think he's gonna come a little bit early this
It could
year.
be spring. He dropped in May last time.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be
May is the 5th month.
But we're calculating,
yeah.
The math is not my strong point.
I say
I
under.
do words.
Yeah, you know, math is his strong point.
I don't do that. I don't do
Accounting
that
act.
at all. All right.
else we
Over
got?
under the number of dudes who've slid into Cardi B's DMs since she announced her breakup with Offset. Over under
I'm distraught.
500.
Yeah, over under how many?
500. 1,000.
Over 500?
1,500.
Wait, are we talking about rappers or are we talking about just men?
Not just fans,
Men?
but like maybe people,
What?
with,
Listen,
people with the blue check mark.
I'ma say over, and I say 80% of them is people that's in the that got a blue check mark.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Disrespect.
Absolutely, because
How many of them are rappers, you think?
I think it's a lot of rappers. Seriously, and I'm not speaking specifically off of knowing anything. I'm just saying that a lot of these dudes plot on, that was such and such wife. That was a lot of dudes prey on shit like that. It's fucked up, but that's what reality is. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of them was in her DMs while things were going on. Now, I'm not saying that she acted on any of that,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of dudes that was in her DMs
So
while she was in her relationship, because dudes are disrespectful.
And honestly, though, I think over as well. So, but I don't think for even that reason. Like, oh, you used to be with. I think people are realizing the way that relationship raised Offset's profile. You could be a decent rapper right now. You could be a fucking star if Cardi dates you. Like, you're a fucking star. She gets on a record with you. She's so supportive. Like, to be honest, and I was having the same conversation with someone recently, a rapper, and it came up where we were speaking about just sales in general, and it was like, well, what do we think Offset's gonna do? And he said, well, it's a little bit different because Offset's with Cardi, and that does something for you. And I was like, I don't think necessarily all the time your relationship like helps your musical sales or whatever. He says it does. So I brought up Kylie and when she was with Tyga.
Right.
And I mean, he countered by saying, well, Kylie definitely helps Travis. So I only gave that example to say, I think a lot of rappers now are looking at women who are really hot. And he also says something very important. He says, if you date a chick and she's gonna help you musically, she gotta be hotter than you. And Cardi is hotter than Offset. Cardi's hotter than Migos. That's a fact.
But it didn't work for Tyga. But Travis's approach is differently. I feel like he's kept his relationship out of the spotlight and really focused on music. Whereas Tyga, we were only seeing headlines about him and Kylie, and the music wasn't really matching up.
Except this is like really different because Cardi's a musician. Cardi makes music. You get me? Like while Kylie has all the awareness and the attention, Cardi makes music.
No,
so
I
if
agree.
I'm any rapper, like, and if you don't have a relationship with Offset, if you didn't send a DM just to get a ticket, bro, like, she could get you from get off the shelf at whatever label you're at to now being like the guy.
How
I'm
crazy of a
telling you.
position is it for her to be in, though?
Yo,
knowing that-
Safari had a career just by being a bag holder for Nicki. Let's be serious.
You gotta call him a bag holder
Imagine if he
every
was rapping. If he niggas didn't know he was rapping back then. Like niggas used to call him her manager. Niggas used to call him
dancer.
her assistant, the dancer. If he was rapping back then and Nicki embraced him like how Cardi did,
it would have definitely be different for him.
it would be
have definitely been
different. You feel me? So all I'm saying is that I would imagine like more people who are looking for trying to be opportunist because they saw how that relationship played out, right? And in the sense of how it helped Offset. More than people be like, oh yeah, Offset used to be with her.
Yeah,
Like I feel like a lot of relationship is calculated now.
Dudes is petty like that. I'm gonna keep it 100. Niggas is petty like that. Niggas is like, yeah, I'm fuck his bitch. Like that's how they think. I'm serious. Like they like that. So.
Well, if they're thinking like that, they must be retarded. Like this is a music business.
Niggas
Half
is
of
retarded.
half of these relationships is fake. And y'all just seen two people literally while I was in the green room, and I was like, wait, they're dating? And I know they ain't really they don't know shit except everybody wants to be like some power couple. You get some promo. Even fucking Lil Xan came out and said, yeah, my label made me date that girl. Like, this shit was fake. Half of these relationships
So how'd you
really
get
are
into
fake.
your relationship with 6ix9ine?
You hear this nigga?
Now, yo, guys,
See,
the
I gotta throw that one
Academics
in.
rebrand is gonna be crazy one
Right.
day. It's gonna be crazy. Who is the lucky lady gonna be?
Tinashe?
You didn't shoot your shot at Complex Con, yo.
Yo,
I had
Tinashe.
you. I had you. You
He
did not
shook. Fucking
shoot your
shook
shot.
ones over
No,
there.
wait, first of all, we were dealing with like some other shit going on.
Don't make any excuses.
No, we were.
I told you I got you if you really wanted to.
That's the moment when like Tinashe was on stage while I was meeting Nas,
Shut up,
while some other shit was
academic.
going on.
Shut up.
Seriously.
You didn't shoot your shot. You're a pussy.
Why do I
yo,
want to wait? Why do I want to go watch Tinashe perform?
An alarm is about to go off. Like
it's
really,
not.
I think there's about to be a fire drill. We're about to be like literally kicked off the set. We might have time for one more real quick. Let's do over under number of collab albums. We'll get in. No, we don't even have time for that. All right, I guess that's our show.
That's the
y'all.
show.
There's about to be a fire drill
It's
right
like
now.
a fire drill. It's like we in school.
You better let me up
Are
out
we
of
gonna
this
hear
bitch.
the alarm? If it actually goes off, will we hear it? Yeah, we'll see. No, whatever. Let's do this last question and then we'll wrap. It's cool. It's cool.
All right.
Over under number of collab albums we're gonna get in 2019. I'm gonna say 7.
Over 1,000.
Okay.
Fuck, I'm tired of collab albums, but these motherfuckers is not slowing down.
Word.
Unfortunately.
Have we liked any of them this year?
No.
Not a
Garbage.
single one, right?
No, that's a lie. Freddie Gibbs and Currency.
Oh yeah.
Freddie
Okay,
Gibbs
you're
and
right.
Currency.
We did like a couple of them. But
Absolutely.
fuck, man. Y'all niggas stop doing these little fucking whack collabs that we never remember a song off. Like, please.
Yeah, them shits be coming and going. I ain't gonna lie. These shits coming and go.
Please. Not because you did one good record. You know what? I blame us fans. We see two people do a fucking, or we see a producer and a rapper do like one good song. They should do a whole tape. They should do 10 albums. And then we hear the garbage that was put together in a mass panic
Yeah.
and rush.
We'll only let Metro do that. We'll take whatever he wants to give us.
I'm all for the Cole and Kendrick if they can make it happen. I'm all for that.
It's never happening.
never happening,
We give
but-
up on that.
A real nigga could wish on a star.
All right, y'all. We gotta go. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday at 11:30 a.m. on Everyday Struggle.
Peace.